Great Northwoods to the Rockbound Coast and streaming live in HD worldwide at foxbangor.com. More people choose Good Morning Maine.
Today on Good Morning Maine, a woman accused of murdering her boyfriend in Etna will make her first court appearance today.
Plus, food pantries in Hancock County are concerned how budget cuts will impact the growing need for assistance.
And thousands visited sugar houses around the state to celebrate Maine Maple Weekend. Good morning and welcome to Good Morning Maine. I'm Emma Smith.
And I'm Craig Colson. Thank you so much for joining us on this Monday morning. We'll have all the day's news coming up over the next hour. But first, a check of the forecast. That'll be big news today. It looks like a winter storm is arriving today right as spring gets underway. Going to bring a few inches, maybe a little bit more here to the Bangor area, just enough to kind of make the roads a little slippery out there. Some local schools are also either calling off classes for the afternoon, or they're suspending after-school activities, Orono, Old Town among them. So you'll want to pay attention to those texts as the morning goes on too. Shouldn't be a big storm, but just enough to cause a nuisance, you know.
I know, especially on that time of coming home from school.
Yeah.
All right, now here's Devin Biggs with that forecast.
And thank you very much, Craig and Emma. Happy Monday. Your first weather forecast brought to you by SR1 Companies. Visit SR1 in Herman, Turner, Manchester, and at our newest location, 485 Main Street in Orono. We have the best prices on trailers, campers, tractors, heavy equipment, and more. SR1 Companies, where New England's largest selection meets unbeatable prices. All right, winter weather advisories are posted, and these will last until 2 a.m. Tuesday for the counties highlighted in purple for snow accumulations that will be on the way today. We also have a small crowd advisory up until 2 o'clock Tuesday afternoon. Meanwhile, the radar and satellite quiet for the moment, but the key word is at the moment. We are watching for active weather that is off to the south and west. Mainly has snowed today, maybe later this evening, a little bit of rain mixing in, but that's about it. We'll watch the snow moving in throughout the morning and afternoon period. A little bit of rain on the south side of that, but it will taper off later on tonight. Maybe a little bit of fog trying to mix in as well. Some gusty winds also on the way, up to 20 to 25 miles per hour at times. Those back off tonight and looking pretty breezy again as we head towards the daytime tomorrow, but overall not looking too bad. Your hourly forecast for the rest of the morning and afternoon period showing a mostly cloudy sky, snow arriving by the afternoon, temperatures in the 30s. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up. Craig and Emma.
All right, thank you.
Looking for reliable
TurboTax Free Edition. 37% of filers qualify. Simple Form 1040 returns only. See if you qualify at turbotax.com.
Looking for reliable tree care? Cousins Tree Service offers tree removals, pruning, maintenance, and more. Staffed with a licensed and insured arborist, we prioritize safety and customer satisfaction. Contact the team at Cousins Tree Service for professional tree solutions.
TurboTax Free Edition. 37% of filers qualify. Simple Form 1040 returns only. See if you qualify at turbotax.com/free. I can file for free.
Now this is taxes. File for free with TurboTax Free Edition.
When Blazing Trails located in Lincoln want to know the local forecast, they log on to foxbangor.com. Blazing Trails is Lincoln's #1 trusted dispensary, providing outstanding product and customer service to eastern and central Maine.
Fires, floods, burst pipes. Disasters happen, but the mess they leave behind doesn't have to last. For 40 years, Bouchard Cleaning and Restoration has been there to help Mainers get back to the closest to normal as they can. When your property is at its worst, Bouchard Cleaning and Restoration is at their best, and they have been for 4 decades. Put your trust in the Bouchard team. Bouchard Cleaning and Restoration. You keep the memories, we'll handle the rest.
Looking for reliable tree care? Cousins Tree Service offers tree removals, pruning, maintenance, and more. Staffed with a licensed and insured arborist, we prioritize safety and customer satisfaction. Contact the team at Cousins Tree Service for professional tree solutions.
Judge Judy never misses a beat.
This is my playpen.
I get that, Your Honor.
Perfect.
Next is mental anguish.
Yours or mine? It's getting bad for you.
I don't understand why you're so upset with me.
Does this face look stupid to you? Am I doing all right?
Excellent.
That's what I like to hear.
Judge Judy.
Weekdays at 6 on Fox 22.
Welcome back, everyone. Mainers are continuing to raise their voices against the federal government. A group of protesters spoke out against President Trump's executive order to ban transgender students from women's sports. Allison LaPierre was at the rally over the weekend down in Cumberland.
We are here today to stand up against the threats and the bullying.
A protest aimed at protecting young transgender athletes.
I'm here because I'm an educator, a mom, a grandmother, and a good human being, and I'm ashamed of how people are being treated because they're different.
Cumberland is home to MSAD 51, a school district that entered the national spotlight after State Representative Laurel Libby posted a photo of a transgender athlete on Facebook. This led to President Trump threatening to withhold federal funds from the state of Maine if Governor Janet Mills didn't comply with his executive order to ban transgender athletes from playing in girls' sports.
This district, MSAD 51, and the state of Maine are being unjustly targeted for lawfully following the Maine Human Rights Act and allowing transgender athletes to compete according to their gender identity.
Last week, the Trump administration put the state of Maine on the clock. He gave MSAD 51, the Maine Department of Education, and the Maine Principals Association 10 days to comply with the executive order. Some Mainers are remaining firm in their positions, but Representative Libby says the governor needs to change course.
We need to ensure that our girls have a safe, fair, and level playing field, and it's time for Governor Mills to do the right thing and legislative Democrats and to change the policies to ensure that biological males are not participating in girls' sports so that we don't lose hundreds of millions of dollars. That's what's at stake here.
The state of Maine has 5 more days before Trump's deadline. At that point, the case could be referred to the Justice Department.
Allison LaPierre reporting. In other news, President Donald Trump has taken to social media demanding an apology from Governor Janet Mills following their ongoing dispute over transgender athletes. The president made a post on the platform Truth Social on Saturday, calling for the governor herself to deliver a, quote, full-throated apology. It's been 1 month since President Trump and Governor Mills had a heated exchange during the National Governors Association winter event. That's when Governor Mills said, quote, "I'll see you in court," in response to the president's threats to strip our state of its federal funding if Mills refused to comply with Trump's executive order banning transgender athletes from competing in women's sports. The chair of the political science department at the University of Maine says regardless of how the governor decides to respond, the issue could still very likely result in a federal court battle.
You know, while things are tied up in court, that doesn't stop, kind of the real world from unfolding. So, whatever funding is at risk, I'm sure that there are, people who rely on that funding for important services or benefits. And even if that funding is temporarily delayed, that can have real world repercussions for a lot of people.
In his post, President Trump went on to ask Governor Mills to also issue a statement that she will not make this kind of challenge to the federal government again. We reached out to the governor's office for comment and have yet to receive a response.
The news this morning, a woman accused of murdering her boyfriend in Etna is expected to make her first court appearance today. The man was found dead in a home on Old County Road early Friday morning. According to Maine State Police, an autopsy performed on 41-year-old Luke Norris Saturday showed his death was caused by multiple sharp force injuries. Authorities on Friday arrested Norris's girlfriend, 36-year-old Heidi Tasker, and charged her with murder. Officials say the couple had been living in that home together. According to state police, Tasker is currently being held without bail at the Penobscot County Jail. In 2011, Tasker also served 9 months in jail after being charged with manslaughter for a crash that killed her 19-year-old boyfriend.
Maine State Police are investigating a fatal wrong-way crash on I-295. Spokesperson Shannon Moss says approximately 6 on Friday morning, the Bangor and Augusta Regional Communications Centers received multiple calls about a wrong-way driver on the turnpike near mile marker 42 in Scarborough. She says witnesses reported a car traveling northbound in the southbound lane that subsequently exited the turnpike onto 295. According to Moss, the car was later seen traveling through the I-295 tolls all the way down in South Portland. The car collided head-on with a tractor-trailer traveling southbound near exit 4. 86-year-old George Vandenberg of Portland was driving the car. He died at the scene. The driver of the tractor-trailer was transported to Maine Medical Center in Portland with non-life-threatening injuries. Both lanes of traffic were closed for several hours, and they have since reopened. Moss says the crash remains under investigation.
Meanwhile, the Penobscot County Sheriff's Office is investigating a hit-and-run crash in Dixmont. At around 6:45 p.m. on Friday night, crews received a report of a motor vehicle and pedestrian crash near the intersection of Hog Hill Road and Kennebec Road in Dixmont. They found a male lying on the side of the road in critical condition, appearing to have been struck by a vehicle. The man was transported to a nearby hospital with life-threatening injuries. No word on his condition today. Anyone with information on the incident is asked to contact the Penobscot County Sheriff's Office.
A Belfast woman arrested as part of a year-long investigation into drug trafficking has been indicted by the Waldo County Grand Jury. 25-year-old Brittany Saucier was indicted for receiving stolen property, unlawful possession of drugs, and violation of conditions of release. In August, members of the Belfast Police Department and the Waldo County Sheriff's Office went to 64 Swan Lake Avenue. Belfast Police Chief Robert Cormier says they found what is believed to be methamphetamine, fentanyl, scales, several cell phones, and other items connected to illegal drug sales. Cormier says they also recovered stolen handguns and other weapons.
Maine General Health plans to lay off 100 full-time employees next month. Maine General has a number of locations, including the inpatient hospital and the Harold Alphon Center for Cancer Care down in Augusta, as well as the Thayer Center for Health and the Elmwood Primary Care Facility in Waterville. They also have other healthcare offices in Fairfield, Gardner, Hollowell, Belgrade, and in Winthrop. A statement from Nathan Howell, Maine General President and CEO, says, quote, "The current crisis in Maine care funding compounds an already tenuous financial footing for Maine General and other hospitals in the state. Maine's nonprofit hospitals are challenged by declining reimbursement rates from payers. Reimbursement rates are not covering the actual cost of care. Additionally, we are experiencing excessive denials, especially from Maine Care Advantage plans. The cost of doing business is also increasing, which is not unique to healthcare. These are just some of the challenges we have been facing."
Food pantries around Hancock County are feeling the weight of impending USDA funding cuts. Our Kelly Warren has the story.
Because it's the literal food, the food that we get from the federal government that is being cut right now.
Food pantry directors say the needs are great.
5 years ago, we were doing maybe 30 families a day. Now we're doing over 100 every day.
And now, with cuts in federal support, it means less Mainers will be fed.
Most of our partners across the state are going to see a reduction in both the amount of fresh food from local Maine farms and the shelf-stable pantry items that they rely on.
Maine's Good Shepherd Food Bank contracts with food pantries across the state to distribute federally funded food to around 600 total pantries. 2 USDA programs are being cut that help support food insecure Mainers. The Local Food Purchasing Assistance, or LFPA program, which helped purchase locally grown food for pantries.
LFPA has been cut by $1.25 million that we know of so far.
And TFAP, which gets hundreds of thousands of pounds of shelf-stable goods into pantries. McCarthy says TFAP is being cut by 250 to 500,000 pounds per month until the end of June.
From April 1st through June 30th, and the future of that program after June 30th is uncertain.
With the latest round of cuts, we're advised from Good Shepherd that was going to drop by 40 to 65%, and that's what's actually occurring on our next delivery, which is the start of April. It's dropped to 3,500 pounds, so we basically lost 6,500 pounds of food. So
it's a little bit of a feeling of uncertainty in a time when a lot of other things are uncertain for many people. And that's a challenge definitely for all of the people that we work with and all of those that we serve or come through our lives.
To find out how to support your local food pantries, visit the story on our website.
Yeah, we'll appreciate all the help we can get.
Callie Warren reporting for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Well, they say the show must go on, but a theater is calling for the community's help to keep the lights on. The Schoolhouse Arts Center in Standish has hosted hundreds of plays over the last 4 decades, but as Allison LaPierre reports, the building is unfortunately in rough shape.
We could not continue for a year without fixing things.
Schoolhouse Art Center is more than just a theater. For Anna Pearson, it's become her second home.
Schoolhouse is such a homey atmosphere. Everyone is just inviting and non-judgmental and just a great place to be creative together and have fun.
The schoolhouse is located in a century-old building. It requires critical maintenance to keep operations going.
There's a lot of leaks, there's a lot of things kind of falling apart around us, and the building needs to be cared for.
From broken windows, holes in floors, and even squirrels running around, leaders of Schoolhouse are looking for the community's support.
We are focusing on, keeping the building alive, doing the maintenance that needs to be done to keep everything safe and keep everything comfortable for our audiences.
Artistic director Christopher Koff expects the schoolhouse to relocate somewhere else next year. But Koff says they need a helping hand to keep the lights on during their transition.
Any support, any help, is so appreciated just to continue keeping this alive.
Schoolhouse Art Center plans to continue hosting shows starting April 4th.
That was Allison LaPierre reporting. So many of these small theaters facing similar problems.
I know. 10 Bucks Theater in Bangor is moving. Right now they were in the Bangor Mall, but they're finding another place, so it's just one of those things.
Yeah.
All right, the time now is 8:16. After the break, spring has sprung, and here in Maine, that means we'll see snow.
Yes, we'll have the forecast coming up. So don't go away. More news on Good Morning Maine right after this.
Hi everyone, Troy Pearl here. For a decade, Renewal by Anderson has been so much more than just a window and door replacement company. We've been your neighbors, your partners, your friends, growing together in a community we all proudly call home. From campuses to concerts, we've enjoyed entertainment together, celebrated life's milestones, and enhanced homes and lives. We couldn't have done it without the incredible support of our suppliers, providing us with top-notch products, and a special shout-out to our dedicated employees. You are the heart and soul of Renewal by Anderson. Your hard work, passion, and commitment to excellence inspires us every day. As we celebrate our 10th anniversary, we're overflowing with gratitude. Our journey has been fueled by a commitment to giving back through charitable organizations that uplift our community, reminding us that every window we replace isn't just about homes. It's about creating a better future for all. Thank you, everyone who has made 10 years possible. Here's to many more.
A better way to a better window. Renewal by Anderson.
R&K Variety is more than just a convenience store. With delicious homemade food made fresh daily. We offer hearty meals that don't break the bank. Whether it be our delicious chicken pot pie, one of our many savory soups, or a pizza, you can't go wrong at R&K Variety. Looking for a drink after a long workday? R&K Variety is an agency liquor store with an impressive selection. R&K Variety, more than just a convenience store. We're your neighbor, chef, barista, and friend. Stop by today.
We're lucky to live in Maine. We have a wealth of natural resources, hardworking people, and time for the things that matter. Mechanical Services is all about Maine, with energy efficiency that protects our environment and helps businesses grow. Preventive maintenance and energy solutions that save money. How Maine is that? Mechanical Services. We're everywhere you are in Maine.
The latest from the destructive storm moving across the eastern U.S. right now and bringing a wet commute to major cities in the Northeast.
Severe damage also in the south, and particularly to one community that has already suffered before. ABC's Andrew Dimbert has more.
This morning, people in Rolling Fork, Mississippi assessing the damage from another tornado.
Tornado in the field beside me.
The storm damaging multiple buildings and bringing down power lines, long pieces of wood slicing into the ground like daggers. The side of this warehouse peeling away like the lid of a can. A strong storm devastated much of Rolling Fork 2 years ago this week. Back in March 2023, a tornado packing winds of nearly 200 miles per hour destroyed a third of all homes in Rolling Fork, killing 15 people. Meanwhile, just 6 months after Hurricane Helene hit western North Carolina, that same region is now seeing mandatory evacuations due to wildfires. 4,000 acres have now burned in Polk County, at least 4 homes destroyed.
We've got friends that are evacuating their homes in Lake Adger area because the fire's right on their heels, and they're coming here to stay at our home.
Making the firefight more difficult, some roads and bridges still haven't been repaired since Helene. And hurricane debris, including downed trees, are now helping fuel those fires. Good. Residents packed into this meeting, voicing concern about neighbors cut off due to phone service still spotty after Helene.
We live in a rural area, and so not everybody has internet here or even has great cell service.
Firefighters from as far as Oregon and Montana now rushing to help. And this restaurant south of Asheville is helping feed them.
We did 150 hot dogs in about 2 hours.
Dry and windy conditions also fueling fires from South Carolina, where an emergency was declared, all the way up to New Jersey, where 2 campgrounds were forced to evacuate. Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, New York.
So much of that going on around the country lately. Around our neck of the woods, it looks like a little winter storm heading our way today.
I know that 5-day forecast will reveal it's kind of a trend this week, it seems.
Yeah.
Here's Devin Biggs with that forecast.
Alrighty, Craig and Emma, thank you very much. Your full weather forecast brought to you by SR1 Companies. Visit SR1 in Herman, Turner, Manchester, and at our newest location, 485 Main Street in Orono. We had the best prices on trailers, campers, tractors, heavy equipment, and more. SR1 Companies, where New England's largest selection meets unbeatable prices. Here we go. We have a winter weather advisory posted until 2 a.m. Tuesday for the counties in purple for snow accumulations that may cause some issues moving forward today. We also have a small craft advisory up along the coast until 2 o'clock Tuesday afternoon. So overall, we're not too bad, at least just quite yet with regards to the wave heights, but further out towards sea, a little bit more active at around 7 feet at this time. The radar and satellite quiet at the moment, but we are watching our rain and snow opportunities that will be on the way, mainly as snow for us, but we could see a little bit of rain along the coast later on this evening. So let's talk about this. We have some snow on the way by around 1 o'clock this afternoon, and it may get heavy at times. There's that little bit of rain possible along the southern coast arriving later this evening. Then the snow starts to wrap up later on tonight. Some clouds and fog will also be a possibility tonight and a parts of Tuesday morning, and a few more rain and snow showers on the way throughout the day Tuesday and the parts of early Tuesday evening. Then we'll clear out for a bit, maybe more areas of dense fog by early Wednesday morning. So here's the thinking with regards to the snowfall. Anywhere you see pink indicates the possibility of 3 to 5 inches, maybe some locally higher amounts, but anywhere else you see blue or purple, really. Blue really is what I'm seeing with regards to the color. Around 1 to 3 inches of snow will be possible. But otherwise, some gusty winds to watch out for, getting up to 20 to 25 miles per hour today. We will calm down later on tonight. Maybe a few gusty winds tomorrow, getting up to 15 to 20 miles per hour in a few areas. So for today, we have mid-30s, snow likely, breezy out there. Southeast wind getting up to around 25 miles per hour. Tonight, rain and snow showers ending lows in the upper 20s. Areas of dense fog as well, and an east breeze at around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow, mid-40s, rain and snow showers. Southwest wind at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. And let's check out your extended forecast brought to you by SR1 Companies. Rain and snow chances Wednesday with highs in the mid-40s. Mid-40s again for your Thursday. Another chance for rain and snow showers. And yet again, another chance for rain and snow showers on Friday with highs in the mid-40s.
Did he lose his shirt?
I've never seen anybody lose their shirt.
I guess deny and delay didn't work today. Now look at him.
Who's the law firm?
The law offices of Joe Bornstein.
If you've been injured in an accident, call Joe. The law offices of Joe Bornstein. Maine lawyers working for Maine people.
Tell the insurance company you mean business.
AMHG Works LLC, American-made home goods, located at the Rennie's Plaza in Bangor. Come check us out. We're open 7 days a week, featuring artisans, crafters, and manufacturers from across the United States, where everything is meticulously designed with care and pride. We also have a wide selection of pet accessories and treats. Let us be your new favorite store. We look forward to seeing you.
Derek!
Hey, Mom, I need to lay low for a couple days. There's too much heat on this car.
Too much heat?
I only paid for a Hyundai Tucson.
Ruth! Listen, Jenna, I need to lay low for a few days. Why?
Deal so right, it almost feels wrong. The Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Lease an all-wheel drive Hyundai Tucson for $259 a month today.
Hey, 25 Words or Less superfans. Our Super Fan Contest has returned.
You can do it!
You'll be on air with Meredith, the celebs, correct, and the contestants. Enter to win at 25words.com.
I'm Mary Kay!
Wow!
Good luck and keep your streak alive.
You just made $1,000 for Nikki at home.
Keep that line.
The lucky superfans will be chosen at random. If the contestants win $10,000,
You did it!
you win $1,000. Enter now.
Today, an appeals court will begin to weigh in on President Trump's use of the centuries-old Alien Enemies Act, which he used to deport hundreds of alleged Venezuelan gang members. Trump and his allies continue to speak out against the judge in the case as he considers whether the administration defied his court order. ABC's Christiane Cordero has the details from Washington.
This morning, an escalating legal battle between the Trump administration and the courts themselves takes its next step. 3 judges on an appeals panel are set to hear the case over Venezuelan migrants recently deported to El Salvador, as the administration tries to get the original judge off the case.
Despite what he thinks, we're going to keep targeting the worst of the worst.
Judge James Boasberg ruled the administration improperly used the 18th century Alien Enemies Act to deport more than 200 Venezuelan migrants to El Salvador. The migrants are alleged gang members, though the families of several dispute that claim, and according to sworn testimony, ICE officials say many have no violent criminal record in the U.S. The administration went forward with the deportations despite the judge's ruling, and today, Boasberg is scheduled to decide whether that move defied his court order. President Trump, his cabinet, and several congressional Republicans have called for the judge's impeachment.
This is an out-of-control judge, a federal judge trying to control our entire foreign policy, and he cannot do it.
In his fact-finding mission about the timing of the deportations despite his court order, Boasberg asked the administration share information. What they handed over last week, he said, was, quote, woefully insufficient. As the fight between Trump and the courts heats up, so do protests against Trump's policies. Hundreds of people gathered in Richmond, Virginia over the weekend. The backdrop, St. John's Church, where founding father Patrick Henry made his "Give me liberty or give me death" speech 250 years ago. And over the weekend, Venezuela continued accepting deportation flights from the U.S. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem plans to visit Central America this week, making a stop at the prison in El Salvador where those migrants were deported to. Christiane Cordero, ABC News, Washington.
The Trump administration is reportedly laying out who will and who won't be on an upcoming tariff list. A Wall Street Journal report says the Trump team is becoming more specific about what industries are affected by planned tariffs. The tariffs will be reciprocal tariffs that President Trump has promised. The report says sector-specific industries such as automobiles, semiconductor chips, and pharmaceuticals might not be hit by tariffs announced on April 2nd. The report says the administration wants to focus on 15% of countries with which the U.S. has regular trade unevenness, a so-called Dirty 15 list. The fate of sectoral tariffs on Canada and Mexico aren't yet known.
IRS and a key immigration agency may partner together on data to help with border security issues. A Wall Street Journal report says the Internal Revenue Service and the Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or the Department of Homeland Security, could be reaching a deal on sharing limited data that could aid enforcement on illegal immigration matters. The report says name and address info of those suspected of crimes could be provided by ICE to the IRS to see if it matches tax records. Such broad sharing is allowed under some taxpayer privacy exceptions. The info could aid investigations against illegal migrants or work sites. Critics, though, say a deal between the agencies could mean migrants illegally here could refuse to comply with tax laws and not pay taxes they owe or discourage them from filing their taxes in the first place.
Gaza's says the Israeli military has struck the largest hospital in southern Gaza, killing a Hamas leader. Hamas has verified that the senior official, Ismail Barhoum, who was undergoing treatment at Nasser Hospital in Khan Yunis, was killed in the attack. Israeli defense officials have confirmed the IDF successfully eliminated Barhoum, who had been described as, quote, the new Hamas prime minister in Gaza. The strike set off a large fire in the hospital's surgical building. Nasser Hospital has been overwhelmed with dead and injured since Israel resumed the war in Gaza, with a surprise wave of airstrikes that killed hundreds of people. The resumption of hostilities occurred when Hamas refused to release the remaining Israeli hostages.
Boeing has landed a big contract with the federal government. Last week, the Air Force chose the giant aerospace company to build and deliver its next generation of fighter jets. President Trump says the new high-performance E aircraft will have what he called unprecedented power, and also said America's enemies won't be able to see the jets coming. Very few specifics about the planes are being released at this time. The value of the contract between the government and Boeing has not been disclosed.
And coming up on the second half of the newscast, it was a big to-do over the weekend as Mainers flocked to Sugar Shacks to celebrate the holiday.
We'll check out the crowds during Maine Maple Weekend coming up on Good Morning Maine.
Is your driveway in distress? Dirt yard dragging you down? Call Paramount Paving, Penobscot County's most trusted name in driveways. With more than 1,000 jobs installed and a 4.5 rating on Google, it's easy to see why. When it comes to paving, we are Paramount. Call today for your free estimate.
Your local financial partner has a new name, the County Federal Credit Union. And we're inspired by the people we serve, the big dreamers and smart planners, the risk takers and trailblazers. As a lifelong partner offering powerful tools and personal service, we were built for our members. Start a financial relationship that's driven by community and inspired by you. Visit countyfcu.org.
Is your driveway in distress? Dirt yard dragging you down? Call Paramount Paving, Penobscot County's most trusted name in driveways. With more than 1,000 jobs installed and a 4.5 rating on Google, it's easy to see why. When it comes to paving, we are Paramount. Call today for your free estimate.
You're watching Fox 22, Bangor.
Welcome back, everyone. Today is Monday, March 24th, 2025. This is also Tick Bite Prevention Week.
This week aims to raise awareness about the precarious health disaster that ticks can bring. Thousands of people get infected with Lyme disease each year, which can cause extreme health conditions and even problems with the nervous system. This is the time of year when people are becoming more active outside, which is the perfect time to take precautions to avoid bites from dangerous ticks.
I've already seen a few posts from people. They've already found some ticks as they head outside, so you got to take it serious. I know a few people who had to actually leave their jobs after getting Lyme disease, and years later they're still feeling the effects of it. So it is pretty serious.
I know it can lead to Bell's palsy and even possible strokes. And I've known people who have been affected by that as well.
Yeah,
it's really scary stuff.
Best thing to do is prevent the tick bites in the first place.
I know.
All right, on this day in history, back in 1921, the Women's Olympiad, the first international women's sporting event, began in Monte Carlo, Monaco. In 1947, the U.S. Congress proposed the limitation of the presidency to 2 terms. In 1958, Elvis Presley was inducted into the Army on this date. And in 1972, the Francis Ford Coppola movie, The Godfather, opened up in theaters all around the nation.
In 1987, the AIDS Coalition held a massive demonstration on Wall Street to protest against pharmaceutical companies that were profiting from the AIDS pandemic. Hundreds of protesters laid in the street or held signs demanding corporate and government action to release life-saving drugs, to make them affordable, and to end AIDS-related discrimination. In 1989, the supertanker Exxon Valdez ran aground in Alaska, causing one of the worst oil spills in U.S. history. An estimated 11 million gallons of oil spilled into the water, polluting 700 miles of coastline. In 2016, a UN war crimes court convicted the former Bosnian Serb leader of genocide and other charges for orchestrating a campaign of terror that left 100,000 people dead. And in 2017, 560 people dressed as ghosts gathered at a school in Tralee, Ireland. They were attempting to set a world record and to also highlight the invisibility of arthritis.
Just a fun way to kind of raise awareness about arthritis.
Totally.
Yeah, that's neat.
Yeah, it's memorable.
Yeah, right? And that's what the town's known for now.
Right.
All right, today's birthdays include actor Jim Parsons from The Big Bang Theory. He is 52 years old today. Actress Allison Hannigan, who has been in a lot of things, she's 51. And Hall of Fame quarterback Peyton Manning is 49 years old today. Happy birthday to them, and happy birthday to you too, if it's your birthday today.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Yeah.
All right, now let's get a look at that forecast. Some snow's on the way, as we've been saying. Here's Devin Bakes.
And thank you very much, Craig and Emma. Happy Monday. Your first weather forecast brought to you by SR1 Companies. Visit SR1 in Herman, Turner, Manchester, and at our newest location, 485 Main Street in Orono. We have the best prices on trailers, campers, tractors, heavy equipment, and more. SR1 Companies, where New England's largest selection meets unbeatable prices. All right, winter weather advisories are posted, and these will last until 2 a.m. Tuesday for the counties highlighted in purple for snow accumulations that will be on the way today. We also have a small crowd advisory up until 2 o'clock Tuesday afternoon. Meanwhile, the radar and satellite quiet for the moment, but the key word is at the moment. We are watching for active weather that is off to the south and west. Mainly has snowed today, maybe later this evening, a little bit of rain mixing in, but that's about it. We'll watch the snow moving in throughout the morning and afternoon period. A little bit of rain on the south side of that, but it will taper off later on tonight. Maybe a little bit of fog trying to mix in as well. Some gusty winds also on the way, up to 20 to 25 miles per hour at times. Those back off tonight and looking pretty breezy again as we head towards the daytime tomorrow, but overall not looking too bad. Your hourly forecast for the rest of the morning and afternoon period showing a mostly cloudy sky, snow arriving by the afternoon, temperatures in the 30s. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up. Craig and Emma.
Thank you, Devin. Well, Maine Maple Weekend is a time-honored Maine tradition, and hundreds showed up to Williams Family Farm in Clifton on Saturday to celebrate.
Our Callie Warren was also there.
Maple syrup is the best kind of syrup.
From the taps to the treats, Williams Family Farm has all things maple.
Huge area inside with a lot of samples of all the stuff that we make: maple cream, kettle corn, coated nuts, sugar candies, all kinds of different types of syrups.
And their busiest weekend of the year is this one, Maine Maple Weekend, where hundreds came to the farm to enjoy a pancake breakfast, sample some sweets, and learn more about the industry.
It's the kickoff to spring. You know that we've turned the corner at this point. Winter's over. Spring's happening. So yes, it is something to look forward to.
Williams says the maple stock continues to grow as they tapped an additional 400 trees this year, resulting in more sweet syrup.
Should be flowing pretty good today. I think I've seen the truck leave here several times already, so there's been several thousand gallons brought here already today of sap.
And maple fans got a taste of the behind-the-scenes process.
What's your favorite part?
Probably watching it get made and probably tasting it.
Basically, I go down and I unload the tanks in the woods, hopefully before they overflow. So I take it and I actually pump it from this tank into this tank, and then this tank gets incorporated into that process.
That 600-gallon tank of sap will result in about 10 gallons of maple sugar after water is evaporated from the sap.
It's an intensive process, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Is it worth it?
Yeah, it's fun.
Maple people, that's it. You have to really love the maple syrup because it's not for the weak of heart. It's like you're doing it at home. It's like a little tiny thing of, container for a whole lot of sap.
In Clifton, Callie Warren, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Boy, they put on a big old thing there. Some other places have smaller things. We have some friends in our family. They collect sap as well in buckets, and they get a little thing like this and boil it all day, and then they get a little thing of syrup out of it. But it's so good though.
Well, I saw a friend. They had a party. A sap boiling party.
Yeah.
They're like, come on over. BYOB will just be in the yard having a fire if you want to hang out. I was like, yeah, what a great Maine tradition.
I love that too. It's kind of neat. It makes spring, the arrival of spring even that much better.
Totally.
Yeah.
What a great weekend for it.
Yep.
All right, right after the break, Jack Webb will have our sports update.
Big weekend for the Black Bears. All the details coming up.
Dreaming of a new garage or custom build? Patriot Landscaping and Construction delivers from frame to finish. Expert craftsmanship, durable designs, and quality you can trust, we get it done right. Call Patriot Landscaping and Construction today. Let's build your future together.
Introducing the all-new Chevy Equinox, starting under $30,000. And the all-electric Equinox EV, America's most affordable EV with a 315-plus mile range. Quality you expect, and a dealer right down the street. With Chevy, you get what you want. Current qualified lessees can get this 2025 Equinox for around $299 a month. Or well-qualified buyers can get 2.9% APR when you finance with GM Financial.
Ye Old General, located in Carmel, has everything you could ever need. Whether it be kerosene, regular or ethanol-free gasoline, wood pellets, a fresh-cooked pizza, or fried food, they've got you covered. Looking to get a stiff drink after work? Ye Old General is an agency liquor store with a great selection of alcohol. Ye Old General can help with your next home project, carrying carpentry supplies from hammers and nails to specialty nuts and bolts. They have what you need to get the job done. Stop by Ye Old General today. If you don't think they'll have it, they probably do.
We've got a 100-year-old company here, and it's because of the service, the quality, and the experience. It gets done right.
I think we've been doing it for so long. The only thing that we do, that when we walk into a room, we automatically know how to treat that window. We can take any product that the customer's looking for and make it work in just about any situation that they present us with. So
there's no reason to be overwhelmed. No. We can help you through it.
We're not going anywhere. We've been around for 100 years.
Dreaming of a new garage or custom build? Patriot Landscaping and Construction delivers from frame to finish. Expert craftsmanship, durable designs, and quality you can trust, we get it done right. Call Patriot Landscaping and Construction today. Let's build your future together.
Here's the tale of the farmer man, searching for love.
Farmer Wants a Wife, all new Thursdays on Fox.
Welcome back in, folks. Thanks for staying with us. The 2025 Hockey East champion Maine Black Bears were awarded the #3 overall seed in the NCAA tournament Sunday afternoon. They'll head to Allentown, PA, where they'll face Penn State in the first round on Friday at 8:30. I caught up with Thursday night's overtime hero to talk about Maine's draw. All right, I'm here with Nolan Renwick, the hero on Thursday night in overtime, assistant captain of the Maine Black Bears. Nolan, saw the draw in there. It's Penn State and Allentown. What are the initial thoughts?
I think it's, first of all, very cool. I was just said to a lot of people, I've never played a Big Ten team, so that's going to be interesting. And, seeing from all the videos of Penn State's fan base, their following, they got a great, it's probably going to be a good atmosphere game in Pennsylvania, so it's going to be very exciting and excited to get there.
Yeah, I want to talk about the atmosphere for a second. Obviously, everyone saw the showing Maine fans brought down to Boston. It's a little bit of a longer drive over there to Pennsylvania, I think just an hour outside of Philly. What's your message to the Maine fans to try to get them and try to combat that Penn State excitement they're going to have going down there?
Yeah, I guarantee that there's going to be a lot of people hopping in their cars making the drive. I've already talked to a couple people, and I really didn't know what to expect if people were going to do it, but Maine fans continue to surprise me, especially this weekend at the Garden, the reception we got back in Orono. I'm never going to doubt them again, so I wouldn't be surprised if people pack up their cars and make the trip, and we need you out there for the support. You guys make a big difference.
Quickly, we talked all weekend about the sport you guys got down there. How cool is that to see, you know, the Maine fans who couldn't make it down to Boston, you know, receive you guys over at the Alphon yesterday? That had to be another special moment to what was a spectacular weekend.
Yeah, they continue to shock me. I mean, when I got off the bus at the TD Garden for the final game, I was just at a loss for words. And, you know, you're walking through that aisle of people, and it just brought the energy levels through the roof. And then get back here yesterday, and, you know, people are cheering, waiting for you on the streets. You have police cars escorting you back. It's just amazing. And, you know, those are going to be core memories for the rest of my life, and we really appreciate your support.
And you spoke about never playing a Big Ten team. Those are kind of the two titans in college hockey, right? Hockey East, Big Ten, they cross over a couple teams every year, but never in your career you've played a Big Ten team, as you said. Do you know anything about the style of play out there and what to expect from a Big Ten squad?
A little bit. I mean, you hear that it's fast, high-paced, skilled hockey, but I think, you know, you get into these playoff games, especially in these regional games, you know, when everything's on the line, there's only really one style of hockey, and that's just playing the right way, playing hard and physical, and, you know, at the end of the day, doing whatever it takes to win. Because they're not going to ask how it's done, but there's one team's going to win, and, you know, we want to be that team.
And just talk about the confidence you guys gained. Obviously, winning the Hockey East, you can call it the best conference in college hockey this year. An absolute gauntlet. How much confidence getting that championship under your belt and you know, raising a trophy, right? That just had, obviously it's the conference. You got the bigger one. I'm sure you guys, it's another goal of yours to win the national championship and bring it back home to Orono. But that feeling of breaking through has to give you guys confidence going forward.
A lot of confidence, a lot of momentum too. I mean, you know, you go into these NCAA tournaments, and what's happened in the past, especially in this Hockey East tournament, it doesn't really matter a ton. But I think in terms of experience, you know, the double overtime game, playing in front of 17,000 fans, we can really draw back on that in a high-pressure, high-stakes situation, being able to stay calm and composed and, you know, fight through adversity. You know, we were down by 1 in the semifinals there, and we just stuck with it. And we'll really draw back on that heading into these games, because you never know what's going to happen. You know, we could find ourselves in similar situations, so that's going to prove to be very helpful for us moving forward.
Thanks to Nolan for taking the time to chat. This weekend, I made the trip down to Boston to bring you coverage of Maine's Hockey East Championship run. Friday night, I got the chance to roam around the greatest bar, talking to Maine fans ahead of Friday's championship game. Welcome back in, folks. You know, we've been showing you a couple shots from the greatest bar. You probably wish you were down here right now supporting the Black Bears, so we're going to bring it to you. We got a couple questions. What's your name, brother?
Noah.
What do you think the Black Bears are going to do tonight against these UConn Huskies?
Oh, Black Bears are winning, baby. Black Bears to the top.
Where are you coming from?
Bangor.
You made the trip, not even a question.
No, not even a question every year.
How about you?
Where am I coming from?
Yeah, where you coming from?
New York City.
What brought you up here, Black Bears?
What?
What brought you up here, the Black Bears?
You're damn right.
Well, what do you think's going down tonight? You think they're going to get it done?
First time in 21 years, tonight, in the same building.
First time in 21 years, you heard. Let's see the Naked Five. Let's see the Naked Five. We got the Naked Five in the building. In the building. The Alphon is your home. What's it like to run around the TD Garden?
Oh, it's amazing. You know, what makes Alphon special is all the people. We have so many people here supporting the UMaine boys. It's just nothing like in the entire world, really.
Electric. Let's go. Let's go see some alumni. Let's go see some alumni. So much fun talking to those fans. It was all worth it. All the trips made from all over were worth it by the Maine Black Bears victory. That is all the time we have for sports. We'll be right back after the break.
Now's the time for a great deal on a new Honda from the Kelley Blue Book Best Value brand. Buy online, reserve from select dealers, or hurry into your local Honda dealer today.
Bob, what's your secret? How can we offer this nationally recognized mattress for such a low price every day?
Easy. Our Consumer Reports recommended Treasure mattress is handcrafted right here in the States using quality materials like high-density memory foam, gel cooling layers, and an individually wrapped coil system. Backed by an 18-year warranty, then we buy in bulk to pass on the savings. Sealing the deal with the Bob look.
The what? I'll take it.
Oh, no, I was just...
Oh, my Bob.
Taxes was feeling so stuck. Now Taxes is a TurboTax expert, doing everything while you do your thing. Now this is Taxes. Intuit TurboTax.
When Patriot Waste Disposal wants to know the local forecast, they log on to foxbangor.com. Patriot Waste Disposal provides dumpster rental services to eastern and central Maine. Whether you're looking to do a little spring cleaning or are tackling a commercial project, Patriot Waste Disposal has you covered.
Napa knows every driver deserves quality parts. With 30 locations in Maine, Maine's largest network of parts has everything you need to keep your vehicle and equipment running smoothly. Starting now through March 30th, save big during our Napa Gold Filter Sale. From oil, air, and fuel to light and heavy-duty filters, every Napa Gold filter is up to 60% off. Find the filter that fits your needs and get to the moments that matter most. Coastal Auto Parts is owned and operated by a Maine family that cares.
Now's the time for a great deal on a new Honda from the Kelley Blue Book Best Value brand. Buy online, reserve from select dealers, or hurry into your local Honda dealer today.
Now for the latest on what's happening in Hollywood.
Here's ABC's Chuck Sivertson.
This was my father's kingdom, a place of fairness, but the Queen changed everything.
Disney's live-action Snow White, #1 at weekend theater box offices, but with only $43 million in ticket sales, according to studio estimates. It cost over $250 million. Reviews were not strong. But like Mufasa the Lion King, Disney has steered some modest starts into ultimately big hauls. Disney's the parent company of ABC News. Black Bag second in ticket sales, and Captain America Brave New World third with over $4 million each. The Jonas Brothers revealed tour details for their Jonas 20 Living the Dream Tour, which they say is a celebration of their 20-year journey from performing in malls to headlining the biggest stadiums in the world. The brothers just released their new single, Love Me to Heaven, and exclusively shared the tour news on Good Morning America.
Jonas 20, Living the Dream, the tour, will kick off on August 10th at MetLife Stadium.
Oh, that's
in New Jersey.
amazing.
The Jonas' tour kicking off August 10th at MetLife Stadium. 43 dates altogether, including Dodgers Stadium in L.A., Rogers Center in Toronto, Wrigley Field in Chicago, and Global Life Field in Arlington from August through November. Conan O'Brien was celebrated at a gala Sunday night ahead of receiving the Mark Twain Prize for Lifetime Achievement in Comedy at the John F. Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts in Washington. The show is recorded but won't be streamed on Netflix until a future undisclosed date. The cast of people honoring O'Brien was also kept secret. Chuck Sivertson, ABC News.
We love Conan O'Brien.
I know.
Yeah.
Okay, now here's meteorologist Evan Biggs with our 5-day forecast.
Alrighty, Craig and Emma, thank you very much. Your full weather forecast brought to you by SR1 Companies. Visit SR1 in Herman, Turner, Manchester, and at our newest location, 485 Main Street in Orono. We have the best prices on trailers, campers, tractors, heavy equipment, and more. SR1 Companies, where New England's largest selection meets unbeatable prices. Here we go. We have a winter weather advisory posted until 2 a.m. Tuesday for the counties in purple for snow accumulations that may cause some issues moving forward today. We also have a small craft advisory up along the coast until 2 o'clock Tuesday afternoon. So overall, we're not too bad, at least just quite yet with regards to the wave heights, but further out towards sea, a little bit more active at around 7 feet at this time. The radar and satellite quiet at the moment, but we are watching our rain and snow opportunities that will be on the way, mainly as snow for us, but we could see a little bit of rain along the coast later on this evening. So let's talk about this. We have some snow on the way by around 1 o'clock this afternoon, and it may get heavy at times. There's that little bit of rain possible along the southern coast arriving later this evening. Then the snow starts to wrap up later on tonight. Some clouds and fog will also be a possibility tonight and a parts of Tuesday morning, and a few more rain and snow showers on the way throughout the day Tuesday and the parts of early Tuesday evening. Then we'll clear out for a bit, maybe more areas of dense fog by early Wednesday morning. So here's the thinking with regards to the snowfall. Anywhere you see pink indicates the possibility of 3 to 5 inches, maybe some locally higher amounts, but anywhere else you see blue or purple, really. Blue really is what I'm seeing with regards to the color. Around 1 to 3 inches of snow will be possible. But otherwise, some gusty winds to watch out for, getting up to 20 to 25 miles per hour today. We will calm down later on tonight. Maybe a few gusty winds tomorrow, getting up to 15 to 20 miles per hour in a few areas. So for today, we have mid-30s, snow likely, breezy out there. Southeast wind getting up to around 25 miles per hour. Tonight, rain and snow showers ending, lows in the upper 20s. Areas of dense fog as well, and an east breeze at around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow, mid-40s, rain and snow showers. Southwest wind at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. And let's check out your extended forecast brought to you by SR1 Companies. Rain and snow chances Wednesday with highs in the mid-40s. Mid-40s again for your Thursday. Another chance for rain and snow showers. And yet again, another chance for rain and snow showers on Friday with highs in the mid-40s.
Blazing Trails, located in Lincoln, is your #1 trusted caregiver storefront. From personalized consultations to the highest quality product, Blazing Trails provides outstanding patient services to Eastern and Central Maine. Discover how we're blazing the trails to quality holistic medicine.
Purple Co. has just opened its doors. Dive into the best pricing in town on all your favorite products. With knowledgeable staff and top-notch products, Purple Co. has got you covered. Join us for the Ultimate 420 event on April 19th, filled with exclusive deals, giveaways, and fun. Stop by and check us out today.
Hammond Lumber Company has been a trusted partner of professional contractors, do-it-yourselfers, and homeowners for generations. It's the level of trust that Hammond Lumber has earned by providing an extensive selection of products and materials from industry-leading suppliers, with guidance and support through every stage of any project, including delivery of materials throughout Maine and New Hampshire. Hammond Lumber Company is, has been, and will always be your building project partner.
Extracted has changed survival shows forever.
You can't act on emotion in this game. She's going through it, man.
And Fox Tonight,
I ain't had no food in 3 days.
The Hunt is on.
I don't have the capacity to kill an animal.
Survivalists are in the crosshairs.
I don't like the way he's been playing this game.
And every family
I need to know what we're doing.
We're gonna get screwed.
Becomes prey.
No way. We got some enemies back at headquarters.
Extracted, all new tonight on Fox.
Purple Co. has just opened its doors. Dive into the best pricing in town on all your favorite products. With knowledgeable staff and top-notch products, Purple Co. has got you covered. Join us for the Ultimate 420 event on April 19th, filled with exclusive deals, giveaways, and fun. Stop by and check us out today.
Blazing Trails, located in Lincoln, is your #1 trusted caregiver storefront. From personalized consultations to the highest quality product, Blazing Trails provides outstanding patient services to Eastern and Central Maine. Discover how we're blazing the trails to quality holistic medicine.
Folks in Herman now have the chance to get active at any time. Queen City Athletics held a grand opening for their Herman location on Saturday. It's a 24/7 gym complete with a wide variety of equipment and activities for all ages. Owner Sean Demaray says he's passionate about offering family-friendly fitness in the greater Bangor area.
So we started out mostly doing sports performance training with kids, and then that turned into working with adults, and now we offer memberships. So we have family memberships, youth memberships. We encourage the whole family to come in, be active.
Following Saturday's grand opening in Herman, Queen City Athletics now has 3 locations, including Ellsworth and Vesey, and it seems like the community really needs them because I've heard of a lot of folks saying, hey, my gym is getting pretty busy. I think we could stand to have another one in the area.
Yeah, they're popping up all over the place.
Totally.
All right. Well, finally, the Maine Sportsman magazine, in partnership with the Sportsmen's Alliance of Maine, are gearing up for the 43rd State of Maine Sportsman Show. It will happen in Augusta this upcoming weekend. Organizers say more than 7,000 outdoor enthusiasts attended last year's show. The 2.5-day event is expected to feature over 100 exhibitors this time, various educational seminars, demonstrations, and even an archery station. The show aims to serve as an entry into the spring and summer seasons and the official start of open water fishing.
So it's a chance for guides, it's a chance for law enforcement, for wardens, and for rangers to gather. Marine Patrol also puts in an appearance. And so it's a chance really to get together, to enjoy and celebrate all that Maine Outdoors has to offer.
Turning this year will also be the annual Duck Stamp Contest and a Youth Turkey Calling Contest. The Sportsman's Show will run from this Friday to Sunday at the Augusta Civic Center. For more information on the schedule and admission costs, you can visit this story on our website at foxbangor.com. Always a big event. They get a lot of people out there. You can go down there. You can learn how to call a turkey if you want to, Emma.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I know. I don't think I would win the youth competition or be able to compete because it's a youth competition.
Yeah, might be fun though.
I would try to learn how to be an archer.
There you go.
I'd probably embarrass myself, but I'd try.
You can check out some of the latest tricks of the trade, some of the lures, all these kind of things. You get, and some of these wardens, everybody, they know the best places to go fishing, and you know, they'll share that with you as well.
I know all sorts of tips and tricks. It's a really important place for that community.
Yeah.
All right, it does look like we're running out of time though. If you missed anything, you can head to foxbangor.com.
Drive safely on those slippery roads today. Thank you for joining us. We hope you have a great day.
Today on 25 Words or Less. It's hard to believe his hit show Queer Eye for the Straight Guy was 20 years and 4 gallons of Botox ago. It's Carson Kressley. And joining Carson are brother and sister, Tyler and Ashley. Hey. He's excited to hear the name of his rap group read out loud by the whitest person he's ever met. Here we go. From the Bodega Bravas? Bravas? Am I ballpark? It's Head Crack!